If you like what you're seeing and hearing, please consider subscribing to the podcast. You can go to either Apple iTunes, the Google Play Store, Spotify, or Amazon Music in the podcast section. It'll hit Monday morning or Sunday afternoon, depending on when it posts. And the video will hit on YouTube and Spotify Monday. Spotify will hit Monday evening, and YouTube it'll hit Monday morning, 7 a.m., just like it does for the audio services. So please go to those places and consider subscribing or listening to the show. You can also write to me at gwgpodfellows@gmail.com if you want to write me a letter. Let me know what you think of the show, things like that. Or you can also find me on Twitter at JustLittleJoe. So go to those places and please consider liking and subscribing. Thanks. And with that, we'll get on to the episode. Hello, my name is Joseph Carlson, and this is episode 241 of Gaming with Grief. Sorry, I had to check my notes. I got a lot of notes. This is episode 241 of Gaming with Grief. This is coming out New Year's Day, so, Happy New Year's to everybody out there. I just wanted to thank everybody for, supporting the podcast. I don't have a lot of subscribers, so I recommend going to YouTube, subscribing to the pod. It hits Monday morning, 7 a.m. You can go to my website, www.gamingwithgrief.com. Go there. You can comment under the SoundCloud link. You can also go to SoundCloud. Find me as Joseph Carlson. You'll see the podcast link, Gaming with Grief there. You can write to me at gwgpodfellows@gmail.com. Generally, I just wanted to thank everybody for supporting the pod. I am a little bit sick. Sick over the new year. Luckily, I scheduled time off work, so I guess in a way I scheduled my sickness. Anyway, again, thank you so much to everybody that supported the pod. Tell your friends and family about it. If it's something that you like, let them know. If it's something you don't like, don't tell them and just email me at gwgpodfellows.com and just let me know what you think of the show or what I can do to improve. I do care about stuff like that. And I can take criticism because I have been to therapy and I know what that's like. Anyway, I also wanted to just talk about what's going to happen to the pod the next year. In 2024, it's still going to be a weekly podcast. I'm still going to do video game reviews. But what I'm going to do is probably do a little bit more editing and probably come up with some clips because I have another podcast I do with a friend of mine, Avin Carroll. We do The Grief of Politics. And I noticed that even the way I'm an old man, and it takes me a long time to realize things. When I look at a new YouTuber and I don't know what to think, I watch a clip of their show and then move on to the main show. So even though I have a shorter show that's only, maybe 15 to 25 minutes, sometimes people don't know what it's about. They don't know what my review's about. They don't know what the podcast is about. So what I'm going to try to do is edit it down to maybe a couple more minutes here and there and release those sporadically through the week. I don't really have a cadence for that yet, so I'm not going to promise anything, but I do want to work on it because I think it's a good way to build an audience. It's a lot easier for people to look at a 2-minute clip. Again, I do this myself, so I can't really fault anybody for going, 25 minutes. I don't know if I have that kind of time. And maybe I will link, the episode in the description of this comes from, episode 240. And here's the 2 minutes that I thought was really cool. And I might do that just to make it easier so people, may look at something, think I make a good point, listen to the full episode, and subscribe to the pod. And that's going to go for either Gaming with Grief, the one that I do solo and have occasional guests, or The Grief of Politics. Again, Avin and I talk. We have a good discussion. But those are usually an hour long. And I realize not a lot of people are going to sit and watch an hour video when they don't know who Avin and I are. And so they're not going to sit there and be like, well, I don't know these people. So I'll try to clip that out. Him and I have a lot of good points during the episode. I can cut those into clips. That podcast only comes out once a month on the 20th. So those clips, again, will be a little bit more sporadic, but I will try to get in a cadence of those, to set an internal schedule. I've written everything down on what I want to do, but who knows what that's going to do because I have a lot of things I want to try in 2024 and see if it sticks. One of the things is I want to start streaming games again. I did that way back in the day when I was doing the podcast with my friend Ben. The podcast was called Second Rate Fellows, hence the podcast email address, podfellows.com. Anyway, Ben and I did the pod, and I did stream randomly on days, but unfortunately the time I was dealing with a lot of family sickness, hence me doing Gaming with Grief. And so that changed. I wasn't able to get a nice cadence of streaming. I want to do that twice a week. I think maybe Wednesdays and Sundays is when I'll do it. Maybe only for a couple hours a night because I'm trying to do reviews and stuff like that. But those will also be clips that will hit YouTube. So I'll do like a game GWG plays type thing where I'll play certain games. And I'm thinking right now it's just going to be games that are from the podcast. So right now, since it's the new year and we have a little bit of a holiday, I'm just playing God of War 2018. I have about 6 trophies left to platinum it. I'll probably do stuff with that, try to keep it dynamic, and I'll probably cut that into clips. I'll figure all that out. I've done a little research, but again, I'm old. Hopefully, it won't take long. Maybe download that from Twitch. And again, just hit the big points of like what I've done and maybe put my platinum progress on, you know, YouTube. So people can follow along and go, oh, we did this and did that. That's cool. So that's kind of what I plan for just my game with grief and the grief of politics so far. The big new announcement is a while ago. I've kind of alluded to this, I think, but I haven't made a formal announcement, so I'm ready to. I talked to the group. It was a group project weeks and weeks and weeks ago. My friends and I did a D&D podcast, and we've banked several episodes, but our schedules are a little erratic. So we're trying to get a schedule hammered down, but I'm going to start releasing the episodes that we have banked on the 1st and the 15th of every month. So if you're looking this on Monday, January 1st, you will see an episode of a actual play show that I did with my friends, Jesse Whitehead and Joseph Johnson. We have new players. We're doing a new campaign with new people. And what I'm going to do probably after that is I realized people, again, don't know who anybody is. But I've had Joseph Johnson and Jesse Whitehead on the pod. So you can go there and just type in their names. It comes up. You know, if I was really good at this, I would have written down the episodes that they were in. But anyway, they're on the pod. We have new players. You get to hear them just play D&D. And the podcast is called Tabletop Experiment. I've made art for it. The thing is, we don't just want to do 5e. There's been a lot of D&D 5e. There's been a lot of talk of Shadowrun, maybe Rifts, which is an older system, with a friend of mine. Avin, you know Avin. And then my wife and I do like one-shots on the weekend sometimes. So what I might do is just start releasing these on the 1st and the 15th is kind of what we decided. I probably already said that, but I just want to make it clear. So it'll hit the regular Gaming with Grief feed like everything else. If that hits on a day that a weekly episode has to hit, like on a Sunday afternoon, Monday, that's fine. That's what's going to happen. But like I said, we have several episodes banked, and we're already starting the new campaign. Many of the things were offline because we have a new player who never played 5e before, had read about it, and I didn't want to just, when they didn't really understand about role playing and stuff, I didn't want them to go in cold and maybe be intimidated. But that will be coming. We're just starting to record with that person, and that'll be coming later. And again, all of this is about improvement. So, like, if you hear something in the pod, like that you don't like or whatever, it gets better and better. We did have some audio issues. So, kind of this first campaign is kind of like, it's like, I don't want to say in media res, but there's already been a few episodes under our belt when I could salvage these episodes and turn them into the campaign. So that is the big announcement that I wanted to say. That's what's happening so far with the pod. So again, thank everybody that has supported the pod over the years. I will start doing clips and some shorts, maybe some YouTube shorts on both pods, Gaming with Grief and The Grief of Politics. And there may be some shorts. I just had a big epiphany. There may be some clips or something with the Tabletop podcast because obviously people want to see the cool bits. We do, to note on the D&D pod, we do everything remotely except for the finale, which we try to do in person. So when the campaign wraps up, or maybe there'll be a milestone, maybe we'll hit a big milestone and we'll do this stuff in person. Logistically, I'm still figuring things out. I edited the final episode of the last campaign, and there was a lot of things I could have changed. Of course, everybody knows this edits things on a regular basis that you're constantly learning, and for me to go to audio to video was kind of a big learning curve. But we're going to figure it out. We're going to keep doing episodes. We're going to be better. So I guess Happy New Year to everybody out there. There's going to be more in the year. Thank you so much for supporting the pod, and we'll continue into 2024. And I think at the end of the year, I'll almost get to episode 300. If I did my math right, it'll be very close, maybe 2025. So everybody have a safe and happy New Year's. And next week, for Gaming with Grief, the video game one, there will be my game of the year. So that'll come up. I've already recorded that because I want to take a little time off. And as you can tell, I'm congested. So I'm glad I did it before I was congested. So with that, everybody have a good week. And I will talk to you guys next week. And if you don't want to listen to the D&D pod, I totally understand. It'll hit your feed on the 1st and the 15th. You can delete that from the feed if you don't want to listen to it. That's totally fine. I'm trying to think of anything else. I think that is it. I'm looking at my notes. No, that's it. Again, have a safe and happy new year. And everybody, I will see everybody or talk to everybody next week. Thanks.